Welcome to Episode 3 Part 2 of Lumiq's Advisor Value Proposition. The Future to Holistic Wealth Management. In our previous video, we talked about creating value to clients using Gamma and some of the risks involved. Now, let's find out more on the critical mass risk. Let's say, I have an investment portfolio of $210,000 and I wish to have $20,000 a year for retirement. Assuming 10% returns, we get $21,000 per year, which is an extra $1,000 more than what we initially wanted. We now have the option to reinvest the $1,000 and in the following year, we would have $211,000. Assuming the same 10% returns, we can get $21,100 next year. Now, we have an extra $1,100 to reinvest. By doing so, the portfolio just compounds and grows more. What happens if instead of $210,000 I only have $190,000 to start with? Now, that only generates $19,000. $1,000 less for the retirement fund needed. The next year, the portfolio will only have $189,000 to invest at 10% returns, which gives only $18,900. So now, we need to pull out an extra $1,100. What ends up happening is, the first portfolio with $210,000 allows him to have enough and continue to snowball. Whereas, the second portfolio with $190,000 will require him to pull money out from principal every year. That portfolio will eventually risk running out of money. So how do you mitigate this risk of giving people a false sense of security? The way you do it is to stress test the plan under many different economic scenarios. Here are 5 different economic scenarios. 5 different lifetimes that a person could live in, the ways the portfolio could react under different economic scenarios, whether it's the worst or best case scenarios. Notice that in one case they actually run out of money and in other cases they might still have $3 million or up to $12 million. The challenge is that we don't know which economic scenario is actually more likely. So we can just run a large number of economic scenarios to generate different outcomes that are likely to happen. After running 500 economic scenarios, you can see the majority of them are lower here and other lines that can get $20 to $40 million range. But the key factor is the green line, which is the probability of success. In this case it is 87%. It shows that by the end of our life, we met all our objectives and still have a positive balance in the account. So you can feel relieved this is a robust plan that will be able to withstand many different economic scenarios. When you do stress testing, you need to understand how that single variable affects the outcomes and probability of success. Variables could be like choosing a different portfolio, increasing savings rate, or even changing retirement date. Over here, we have an 87% probability of success. Unfortunately, when we change to a portfolio that is less optimal and more risky, you end up with only 66% chance of success. So we would not want to make that change. We can relook at all these different variables, until we find a realistic plan that has the highest probability and the greatest satisfaction to the client. Check out our final video on Gamma Part 3. Finalizing your client's plan. Stay tuned to Lumiq's Advisor Value Proposition. Gamma Part 3.